Today is February 13 in the year 2009. We are here at the office of Davis and Matthews, located at 1 Ashburn Street, Danbury, Connecticut, for the continued deposition of Jacob Hall, taken on behalf of the defendant in the matter of Jacob Hall versus Martha Morgan, pending in the Connecticut Superior Court, J.D. of Danbury at Danbury, docket number CV 07-067-3451S. I am Robert Zweig, Notary Public and Certified Legal Video Specialist on behalf of the Legal Evidence Division of Inside Look TV of Danbury, Connecticut. I hereby affirm that I will record this deposition in a fair and impartial manner. The time is 11:17 a.m. I would now ask that counsel please identify themselves for the record.
I'm Stephanie Carroll, and I represent the defendant in this matter.
For the record, my name is Bob Mason from the law firm of Gill, Pierce, and Mason, representing the deponent, Jacob Hall. We are going to do the usual stipulations, except we won't waive reading and signing. And at the outside, I would like to note that the deposition was originally scheduled for 9:30. It is now 11:18. I just want to make it clear that the deponent he's out-of-state resident, has come here at a considerable inconvenience and expense at his part for a third day of his deposition. And I just want to make it clear, and notwithstanding the late start date, we will not volitionally produce Mr. Hall for another day of deposition if we do not complete today. Is that understood?
And the record should reflect that the renotice of videotape deposition was for 10 a.m. this morning, and I apologize for the delay in the start. We are going to continue with our deposition today, and I'd like to remind you that you are still under oath. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Hall, you have been ordered to produce certain documents for this deposition, and there was a court order that you produce all Hall Corporation receipts and disbursements in your possession, and did you do that?
I believe I complied.
There was one box of materials, and so I take it that Hall Corporation is not in possession or control of any receipts or any other proof of disbursements.
Stephanie, we produced the ledgers of all, generating all receipts and disbursements of Hall Corporation. Perhaps there is a nomenclature. I don't believe we were ordered, nor did anyone contemplate that we would actually produce, each slip of every piece of business. But there are, for the years through 2007, the general ledgers of Hall Corporation reflect all the receipts and disbursements of Hall Corporation.
I'm just trying to establish that he has fully complied with the subpoena and the order of the court.
I just want to make it clear that if there is a problem with description, it is mine. We produced all the Hall Corporation receipts and disbursement ledgers.
And you were also, Mr. Hall, ordered to produce the front and back of any and all checks, documents, and statements held under the bank and or financial accounts of Hall Corporation, and did you comply with that request?
I believe so, yes.
I am concerned only because in my packet I had general ledgers for 2002 and 2003, and I am not so sure that the corresponding checks were completely disclosed, although there were microfiche or small checks.
But that's the way I get them, just so you know. They don't send them any other.
Let me ask a question. In 2004, were you banking with Citibank solely?
In 2004? No, solely no. CLM Credit Union also.
Okay. Well, I'll get through that. But as far as you're concerned, you've given us all the checks.
Yes, I have.
And those front and back of all checks, documents and statements in your possession showing a transfer of funds from Jacob Hall and Jacob and Hall Corporation to the Jacob Hall Trust, and are those documents disclosed?
To the best of my knowledge, they are.
And did we receive a copy of all American Express and or any other credit card billing and or financial statements held under the account Hall Corporation?
Yes, you have.
And so, as I have seen this, there are documents for Hall Corporation, which is an American Express account.
That's correct.
And was it in the name of that company?
I think Excalibur or something.
And those are accounts, the only credit cards that Hall Corporation possessed?
No, I think a few years ago I had an American Express Blue, and then I went to a different kind.
So as far as you're concerned, what is disclosed here is complete with respect to charge accounts for Hall Corporation and...
I think the indication was everything he could locate.
That's correct.
Is there any other account owned or used by Hall Corporation with any other credit card company?
Not that I'm aware of.
So you have 2 Hall Corporation credit cards, one through American Express, one account through MasterCard.
No, I don't think I didn't say that. Traditionally, I would use only one card, but that doesn't mean I have other cards outstanding. It's just I would just use one, and then I went to a different kind.
A gold business?
Yeah, a gold business.
But you have never had more than one American Express account at any one time under Hall Corporation?
No.
Did you ever have such an account for which you have no documentation?
No documentation? No, I never had such an account.
So you never had any other MasterCard or Visas other than the Excalibur?
That's correct.
And the Hall Limited Partnership, I believe, had an American Express card?
Yes, they did.
But that was it?
That's it.
And also the order was that you provide your tax returns from 2000 to 2003, and I believe you provided the schedules that are part and parcel of your individual tax return.
Yeah, those, yes, I did those.
Jacob, let me add here. For the purpose of the records to be clear, for the years in which Hall Corporation did file its own returns, those have been produced.
All right. And the other order also was that we be provided with a copy of all Hall Corporation checks and statements in your possession showing payment for legal services rendered from 2002 to present day. And I know that ledger shows some payments of attorney's expenses, but I don't recall seeing any statements that might have been redacted with respect to legal bills to Hall Corporation.
And Stephanie, just for the record, I want to make you aware that Mr. Hall presented you with all the checks, with all the bank statements, with all the credit cards, with all the ledgers, with all the documentation that he had in his possession. So let's move on from here.
And so we can go through whether or not the checks are there as we go through the ledgers. The ledgers indicate certain expenses such as they are. And I believe also the order was the front and back of any checks, transfers, statements, and documents in your possession from the financial account commonly referred to as Jacob 2 with the account number 6755436662.
To the extent that they were available, you have everything.
And so the record, to be clear, we will not reproduce the documents that had otherwise been identified in deposition transcripts, or there was a substantial documentation produced by the CLM Credit Union, which obviously we all got copies of, and we did not reproduce those.
So that it is your testimony that we have everything that we are entitled to pursuant to the court order?
Again, you have everything.